very
What?
exciting. And then there gets to be this amazing part where I copy paste the link onto Facebook and to my mother so she can watch it.
That's cute. She's so
Yeah.
like into this. That's adorable. My mom would be too, but I don't think she'd understand it.
Well, I don't know that anyone really. I mean, I don't even know that I understand it. Okay, sending it to my mother. Boom.
She'd
And
probably
now.
try talking to me on it. She'd be like, "Hey," and you can't. No, you can only hear me. You can't
Oh, I bet it
interact.
wouldn't be that bad.
Mm,
You think so?
yeah, it was. She's the type of mom who will FaceTime and hold it up to her ear, and I'm like, "No, you gotta.
Yes.
We're FaceTiming." Yeah.
Oh, my mom is the type of mom who will FaceTime in public restrooms.
Oh no, I was always wondering who those people
Yeah.
are. That's not
Yeah, it's
good.
my mom. Yeah. She just wants you to know that she's available. It's very nice.
That should be a felony. Nobody else is voluntarily opting into that conversation.
Also, sorry, mom. Hi, mom.
Hi, mom. I've
um,
met her.
I think
Met
you
her.
have. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think you have. And I met your mom too, briefly, at the Filbert Festival.
Oh, right. You came to that. That's right.
I
That
did.
doesn't exist anymore thanks to COVID and
Well,
because nobody wanted to volunteer. Ah, my cat
well,
just attacked me.
oh no. Well,
Sorry.
it was
That was
fun.
very,
And
very live.
who knew that, like, hazelnuts and filberts are the same thing?
The people of Donald, Oregon knew.
Yes, I guess that's true.
And,
Sorry.
and Mount Angel, because little did you know they have competing hazelnut festivals. So
Wow.
a big deal.
Wait, is Mount Angels also called the filbert, or is it called the hazelnut?
I think the Hazelnut Festival, except they
That seems
charge
a
more
little
money.
clearer. I'm just
So
gonna say, yeah.
we poached some of their vendors. Don't
Cool.
tell.
Yeah. You just did.
To your mom. She knows now.
Yeah. Okay, Kate. Thanks for being on my show. First
You're
question:
welcome.
what's not wrong with your life?
That's not wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm trying to buy a house. This harkens back to the time of what is wrong with my life, which is I rent a 600 square foot apartment, which was a great idea when you're allowed to leave it, but now that we're not,
Are you
I
still
am
in?
stuck here.
Are you still in the same place that you were when I was there?
I don't know.
I
I
don't know.
think so. I've been
Yeah.
here for 3 years, but it is awful, and I share this huge long wall. I can show you. It's just don't judge me. My vacuum is right there. Long, long wall. That's my kitchen. Long wall.
It's you've got nice high ceilings though.
Thank you. I don't own them, but thank you. But on the other side of said wall is a demon child who I made cry this morning because he runs across the apartment, slams into the walls, slams into the doors. He's doing gymnastics all day long. I'm home all day. I've been home for months listening to this shit, and I am at my wit's end. Like, if this kid was like, if it was a Mufasa moment, I would be Scar. I'm sorry, but if this kid was falling off a balcony, I wouldn't save him. I would be like, whoops, there he goes. Uh-oh. That is not a loss for humanity. Like,
Now, to be
I,
fair, like Scar set that whole thing up, and you're not quite there yet.
I'm not saying I'm going to murder him. I'm saying if I had the chance to save him, I might consider it. I might, I would hesitate. I
Sure.
probably would because I'm not Hitler. But this is how
Or
much I hate
Scar.
this child.
Okay.
Right? I'm sorry, but I am
So you made
opting
him
not to
cry
have
this
kids.
morning?
Yeah, I did because he was freaking the freaking frack out, screeching all morning. He doesn't talk, he screeches. Not because he can't talk, it's optional. He pretends to be a dinosaur many times. And I know too much about this kid from never have seen him. I've never seen him before in my life. But I know it's a toddler. I know it's a boy. I know that his parents communicate by screaming, hey, and that's it. And I know that he is literally bouncing off the walls, and I can't handle it. So I
So what's
slammed on
not
the
wrong with
wall.
your life?
I'm moving.
Yay!
Right. Oh, also, they're doing construction any day now, and literally, it's going to be on the other side of that door. So I can't be here anymore. I have to go if I want to keep my job. So I'm like, I got to get out of here. So I'm going to buy a house and be an adult and like make that move because this is not working for me.
Good for you.
Right?
That's
Thanks.
awesome. With
Yeah.
that, I'm gonna play the theme song.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, you didn't know I had a theme song,
No.
did you? Well, it's great. You will enjoy it, hopefully. Nope. Which way do we go?
You're screen sharing.
Yes, I know. I'm screen sharing.
Oh.
Here we are. All right. Time. for our theme song.
Is Matt gonna dance?
No, Matt's not in this.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just me.
Welcome to Krista's new talk show. It's really something, don't you know? There's a friend and maybe there's a cat. Maybe they'll take some time to chat. Her mother thinks she's funny. Her mother thinks she's funny. Her mother thinks she's funny.
That concerned.
Maybe you will too.
Are you ready for this?
Oh boy. Who sang it?
That was Pat Short.
I don't know who that
Of
is.
Comedy Sports
I don't know why I
Portland.
asked that. Like, I know who that is. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's YouTube. Like, you can't use any, actual
Yeah.
music, so.
I was expecting like Josh Groban or something. Like someone I know.
Why would
I
you
know,
think
it's not
Josh,
real.
like, of all the things you're like, yeah, this feels like Krista, it's Josh Groban.
He's famous.
I mean, I just, that's fine. It's fine.
I feel like he would
So,
sing a lot of
welcome
white
to my
people
talk
theme
show.
songs.
I guess that's true. That's fair.
Right.
Welcome to my talk show. My mother thinks I'm funny. Today on the show, I have my good friend Kate, who is a good friend.
Yep. That's the only qualification I have.
I asked how you wanted to be,
I know.
be described.
I don't have any like comedic skills. I'm just
It
from
doesn't
New
matter.
York. That's
You're from New York.
Just a very honest.
So, the first segment is there a cat near you? If so, please introduce me to your cat.
Yes, she just attacked me. That just happened.
Ow.
I'm bleeding. So she's now over there. Don't mind my mess. And she's glaring at me from afar. She's calico, which means she's a dickhead. Am I allowed to say that? She just perked up. She heard it.
What's her name?
Lola.
Ah,
She's
Lola.
very furry, but very rude.
Well,
I have multiple scars.
I'm sorry, but she does seem rather nice. Kind of, maybe. She was sleeping next to you earlier. That was cute.
She was, and I pet her tail, and she attacked me. So,
Oh.
you know,
Well, maybe
whatever.
don't do that then.
Well, she's coming back. Maybe you'll get to see her
We'll
in
see.
her glory.
Is there a cat near you? It's not like it's a big deal.
Not like you have to talk to them.
No.
Hey, want to hear what I started as a hobby? I think you follow me on Instagram, so I think you know.
Yes. I do.
I don't know if you care, but
No, I want to know.
I started embroidering, and it feels very weird to say that because I know like some people do.
Those
right?
look
They're like,
awesome.
thanks. But
Oh my
I got it
gosh.
from China on Etsy.
The pattern?
Yeah. Then you fill it in. It's stupid easy. It's just I don't know. I know people do this as a hobby. I know people sew and do like things. That's great. But it feels really weird to be like, yeah, I picked up a new skill in quarantine, which is embroidering. Like, it's just such a weird sentence. I would never have expected probably a year ago. But somebody was like, you're going to be in quarantine and embroidering something. I would be like, no, I would not like to do that. And I did.
I've tried embroidering. Like, embroidering, I didn't hate. Like, I've tried quilting. I've tried knitting. Like, knitting, I don't have the patience for.
Right.
Quilting is fine, but, like, that's a big investment. Like, embroidery, you can bring with you, like, quilting. Like, I see the appeal.
Yeah.
Plus, you can make monogrammed handkerchiefs.
I might do that. Maybe I'll make you one. We have the same initials. I'll just make them for myself and send you one.
That's right.
Yeah.
We do have the same initials.
I know. Yeah. So maybe I will. It's just really weird to me that this situation's weird, man.
Well, yeah. It is weird.
One step up from coloring in the lines, but you do it with thread.
Yeah, and the thread looks pretty.
Thank
You
you.
get the, like, texture, and it's raised.
My mom's like, make a pillow. I'm like, Mom, do you see what size pillow is that gonna be?
My mom made a pillow, and it's about that size. But, like,
What-
the whole thing.
What is that for? What is that gonna do?
It sits on your couch. It's pretty. I don't know.
Doesn't match my decor, so I'm just gonna burn it.
We'll make
after.
one that does.
Kidding. I will. I have two more. One's like
Yeah.
a little compact. This is
Yeah.
so boring. I feel bad coming on your show and talking about embroidery.
I like
There's
it.
nothing more boring. than that.
So, speaking of, this is Jerry also.
Hi,
See,
Jerry.
this is why
I'm
we
gonna-
have the please introduce me to your cat. This is Jerry
You
Orbach.
want- hold on. I'll grab mine real quick. She's right
Okay.
here.
He just happened to walk across, and, like, if you see a cat, you have to introduce the cat. That's just polite.
See, she's
Hi,
not nice.
Lola.
She's
She's so pretty and
not
fluffy.
happy though.
We'll let her go then.
She's not
I
happy
don't want
about
her
it.
to scratch you again.
She won't. She might
Okay,
try to
good.
bite me.
You
Can
can
you
say
say hi,
no to
though?
this
Just, like,
behavior.
Look really quick in the camera. Just make eye contact with it.
She's got
eye
such a fun
contact.
face.
She
Hi,
has
pretty.
bitchy resting face. Look at her heavy brow.
I
Yep.
like her.
There you go. You can go.
Anyway. So speaking of boring things, right? I mean, I'm asking people about everyday moments, right? So what's your moment?
Okay, I texted it to you, but
Yes, and I was like, I don't want to engage right now. Save it.
It was that. Okay, so for some reason, this really made me pause and think. I was like, weird. Not every woman has a child. Not every woman opts into having a child, but every person has a mother. So like, it's weird to me. I know that they're so stupid. When I was thinking about it, though, I was like, so I don't know why it was weird, but I'm like, I don't want to have kids. I don't want to have kids. So sometimes I don't really understand what it's like for women who have children. Like, I don't have that lifestyle. When I'm around kids, I'm generally annoyed, as we now know from the intro here when I was talking about maybe murdering one.
Yeah.
And so,
just letting them die.
Right. It wasn't actively participating in the murder. I was by omission.
Sure. That's like what's happening in the world right now. We're just letting people die.
Anyway, I don't want to be lumped in with everybody else. This is one child we're talking about.
Okay.
One particular child. I'm probably speaking loud enough that they can hear me, so they might be scared. They're like, okay, we're going to take them to a different apartment. Hopefully. That's kind of the goal, right? But
well, you're going to go to a different apartment, so whatever.
Yeah, that too. But I don't really want to have kids, and so it's so weird to me to think that every woman in the world who's a mother has made that decision to like have kids. And I know that's weird, but I was thinking about like my mom, and I don't think about her as like having popped me out. I just think about her as like, oh, she's cool, she's a friend, she's like that person who raised me. But I don't think about her as like having made that conscious decision to have children and like putting in all that effort and time. And I don't know, it's kind of weird to think about, but every single person was born from a woman who made a choice, kind of, maybe sometimes didn't have a choice, but
so like an identity shift.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. It was just weird to me thinking about it. I'm like
at some point every mother used to be a woman, and then you're saying that now they lose that identity and just become
like, still a woman.
I'm trying to follow this.
Like, I don't know how to explain it. It was just, I guess it was weird to me to think that there's a population of women who choose not to be mothers, or they can't be mothers, or they don't have children. But every person who has a mother, that person is a woman. So it's just, I don't know. It's so weird. I'm not just explaining this right. But when I thought about it at first, I was like, that's so weird to think that everybody has a mom.
Everybody has a mom.
I know. Do you think about your mother making that choice and like popping you out and like having a child? I don't think about that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, you want to hear a different one because that one sucked.
Sure.
This isn't mine. This was a friend's, and it was like
tell
one
me
of those
this one
things
too.
that makes me think. You know?
Yeah.
He was like, humans will never know what it's like to live with dinosaurs. But
I thought hold on. You said humans, right? For a second, I thought you said Cubans, and I was like,
no.
Okay, I mean, humans will never know what it's like to live with dinosaurs. Yes.
That's also true. Yeah. By the way, I don't think your mom's going to tell me I'm awesome when I've talked about killing children like 5 times now. She's going to be concerned.
You never know.
No, okay, so humans will never get to be around like dinosaurs or huge animals like mammoths and stuff. But he was saying, like, in his mind, the equivalent of that is like the machinery that we've made. And if you're driving next to like a semi truck or something like that, like those gigantic machines or buildings or equipment, that's like our version of dinosaurs. And I don't know, it's kind of like weird. It was weird. I think he was probably high. I was like, yeah, I mean, it's a good point. Those are huge and they can kill you.
Fossil fuels. So. They literally are dinosaurs.
They are oh my god. Krista, mind blown.
Mind blown.
That was a better one. You could edit out all of the mothers.
I don't edit.
I know. Well, people forget about it if they watch this.
No, you are good enough. Your first try. Isn't that amazing?
Oh man.
Right?
I'm gonna be canceled in the future forever. This is why I can't run to be a politician
You're
or
fine.
anything.
You're fine.
Yeah, I don't know. They're gonna pull it up and be like, "Look, she hates kids." I'm like, I'm not. I agree with that 100%. Like, yeah.
So your mom sent in jokes. Now you sent me 3 videos.
I did.
So
Yeah.
there's the first one from your mom, the second one with your mom, and then the third one that looks like your dad grilling.
Yeah,
So-
my dad, like, he tells dad jokes, but he did not want to participate, so it's really lame. The one of my mom trying
The
to tell a
second
joke
one of
is
your mom.
horrible.
Okay.
If you look
'Cause I
at the
haven't
video of
watched
my
any of
mom,
them.
if you look at the one of my mom's face up close, like there's one where she's standing further away, it's not that one. The one with her face up close is when I was just candidly asking her about something I know is hilarious. So when you tell my mom to tell a joke, she can't do it. But if she just talks to you and has a conversation, she's hilarious. Like, she pulls shit out of her ass. So I'll give you a little backstory here.
So which one should we watch?
The one of her up close. But before you do that, this is why I asked the question that I asked in the video. My friend, the fossil fuel friend, he came to visit, and we were high school buddies. And he came out to visit, and I said, "You want to stop by my parents' place to say hi to my mom?" And he's like, "Yeah, I do." So he came over. So you know what Oregon's like. You have Lewis and Clark's story, all of that shit. People are coming here. They discovered all the things that they didn't
we all
really
played Oregon Trail as kids.
Right. Okay, fine. You know what? Other people might know it too, but I'm just saying, you've seen it, you know. Well, my mom was like, "Where are you taking him?" Sorry, in her like Long Island accent. She's like, where are you taking him? And I was like, "Well, we're going to the coast." And we went to the coast and we went to Silver Falls, I think. Yeah. And she's like, "Oh, you didn't take him to the gorge? Not going to take him to the gorge?" And my friend's like, "Well, I'm going to go with my other friends." And my mom's like, "Oh, okay. Well, I wouldn't have taken him those places. I would have taken him to the gorge." my friend's like, "I have a whole week here. I'm going with other friends." She's like, "Okay." She's like, "Do you know about the gorge? Do you know what it is? Do you know what it is? You know
Wait, are
there's a
you
gorge?"
telling me the video before we watch the video?
This is a
Okay.
prior story.
Okay, sorry.
This is a funny story before
Okay.
this is why I asked the question I asked.
Got
Okay.
it.
So he's like, "Oh, no, I don't." She's like, "Well, there's the Columbia River, then there's the gorge." I was like, "Hold on a second, Mom. The Columbia River runs through the gorge." She's like, "No, it doesn't." And I'm like, "No, it definitely doesn't." And she's like, "Neil," to my dad, "Neil, tell her." And he's like, "What?" And she's like, "The Columbia River is and the gorge." And he's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "No, what are you talking?" It was so, she's insane. So like history to her doesn't matter. Geography doesn't matter. She doesn't give a shit what she calls things. Like, anyway. But what she said was, "Oh, Lewis and Clark came out here. They did it all themselves." She's telling the story of Lewis and Clark to my friend. I'm like, "No, they didn't. Sacagawea helped them. She had a baby strapped to her back. Native Americans led the way. They didn't do shit. I mean, yeah, they walked out here, but they wouldn't have survived on their own." And she goes, oh, okay, I forgot. You're a feminist. You were there. I forgot. And my friend is cracking up. And I don't think about the shit my mom says until somebody brings it up, because it's just so like commonplace to have these really weird random discussions. So in the video, I ask her about Lewis and Clark, and then this is what she says after she just read a few books about history.
Oh, she read a few books?
Yeah. So she's telling you
That's
what's in
good.
the books.
Okay, so are we watching the close-up one or the far
the
away?
close-up one. The close-up one.
So
Okay,
that's
great.
the second one.
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't know.
Well, I hope I'm right.
You can watch one of them. I don't know. Yeah, that one.
This one? Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Hold on. Okay, wait. Tell me about Lewis and Clark.
Lewis and Clark that is great history.
Yeah, but tell
I've
me
been
about
reading
Lewis
all
and
these
Clark.
books.
Tell me about Lewis and Clark.
I don't know how Lewis and Clark survived what they did and made it back to see Jefferson to tell them all the things that they did. Lewis and Clark is amazing.
Did they do it by themselves?
No, they had 1 million people helping them, especially Native Americans. They did not do any of this by themselves.
Do you
And the
know
other
one of them
people-
committed suicide?
Well, yes, actually, there's quite a few that got lost. They didn't find them for a long time.
He had PTSD.
Yeah, and they were nude. They had no
What?
clothes on when they found them.
And she just walks away.
It's the end of the conversation. She's done.
She's- I mean, that's great though that like your mom like clearly had this picture in her head, which I think is what people like initially, were taught in schools at Lewis and Clark.
Yeah.
They just did it by themselves, pioneers, right? And then you were like, no, Mom, that's not how it was. And she read books. She educated herself, and then
Yeah.
she's going to advocate for this new position. That's great.
She did. Yeah. I mean, that's what we need to do with the old people in the world is like get them to change their minds about things like systemic racism and incarceration and women
Yeah.
as people and,
Yeah.
all of that, right? Like,
Yeah.
read a book. It's crazy what you can learn. But yeah, I gave her my favorite book, which is Astoria by, I think, Peter Stark or something like that. And it is so fascinating. It's like a true story. It's like The Revenant meets something else that's better than The Revenant. But it's so interesting. And I know what she's talking about, which is in multiple points in the book, which had nothing to do with Lewis and Clark. It was a different group of explorers, but okay. Native Americans would capture people who are like starving because they're out west. They don't know what these white people are doing, but they know that like they want the shit they have on them. So their clothing, their guns, their whatever they have. So they steal that stuff. They take it so that they can go sell it or keep it. And then the people are like naked. And this happened multiple times through the book. I'm not making shit up. And so, I'm sure they give them a little bit of clothing, but they have been like, in multiple points in the book, they've been kind of like mugged by native tribes and held hostage, or sometimes by like the really aggressive tribes, they try to murder them. And like, so they're naked and running. And this happens like 3 or 4 times. And so when they find them in the future, they were naked and like were like being held hostage with like very little clothing on or not their own clothing. So that's what she's talking about. But it's just so funny. She's like, they were nude. She just turns and walks away. And I'm like, what? No, Lewis and Clark were not nude when they were found. What are you talking about? But I don't know. I want her to have her own YouTube history channel. I think it'd be absolutely hilarious.
That would be interesting.
I
want my mom to have her own talk show.
They should have a talk show together. It's like this, but their version. But they
Yes.
can't figure out how to even like turn it on.
Oh, my mom could turn it on.
Okay. Well, she
My
can
mom
leave
hosts the weekly Zoom call.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, it's very nice. So, Kate, what are you working on now that you want to like tell people about, or like, are there things that you're excited about or doing, or like, what do you want to promote? Right, this is your like.
Well, I have a book coming out. No.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah, tell me about
I'm in
your
a
book.
movie.
I kept telling you, you kept coming up with sketch ideas, and I kept being like, write the sketches, take a sketch class.
I've tried writing a book a few times. Ooh, I had an idea for a book like a screenplay of The Purge, but it's like The Purge backwoods, and it's when the purge happens in the country because they haven't done that yet. And I was like, oh, so interesting. And like my idea was, I'm not probably going to do it because I have no motivation in my life, but the idea was like, what if this lady, she has a sister and it's her only living family member. Her sister lives in this backwoods redneck ass town, probably in Oregon. Let's just put it in Oregon because that makes sense.
Sure.
And her sister has like an abusive boyfriend, and she's like, purge day, bitch, I'm coming to get you. And she goes out there and she goes to save her sister. But then you have all these rednecks who are like, welcome to town. Anybody who's new, we're going to like purge you because you came into our space. And you're an outsider. And so they hunt her down while she's trying to hunt down the boyfriend. And I was like, God, that'd be so cool. But yeah, I don't know. It didn't go anywhere. I like started outlining it, and then I was like, and I'm done. Then I'm gonna go embroider. I'm gonna embroider now, so yeah. But so one thing that I am doing that's actually like adult stuff is helping a nonprofit that I've been helping for a while, which is Oregon Cure, and it's not like cancer cure. It's for education for incarcerated individuals and their families.
Awesome.
And a friend of mine has 2 sons who went through the system, and they're both really, really good people, even though they had unfortunate situations that happened to them. And they've introduced me, like, I was raised in a very white privileged neighborhood. I think we had a handful of people who were diverse, different races and stuff. But
You're upstate New York?
Yeah. But it was, majority was white. And I went to a school of like 1,500 kids in high school. And I could tell you maybe like 2% were different races and stuff. So it was very privileged, like upper middle class kind of upbringing. And so I didn't even know, not that race does have a lot to do with incarceration. Not that incarceration is always about race and stuff like that. But I didn't know anybody in my entire school district, and I'm sure there were a few people who had family members who were incarcerated. Like, I was so far removed from any of that. But then coming out here and meeting a friend who had 2 sons in the system and who had been advocating through legislature and through nonprofits and through just direct work with different county commissioners, and she talks directly to the superintendents of prisons. Like, she's such a badass. She's gone to Capitol Hill a few times. And
Salem or DC?
No, in DC. So she's just amazing. Like, she got me into this and really opened my mind. And I was just watching Just Mercy and was explaining to a friend who's older as well that she didn't understand, like, why you would want to get rid of capital punishment and why, the death penalty is not appropriate in the 21st century. And I'm like, at the end of the movie, they say, well, first of all, the whole movie is an example of why it shouldn't happen. But then at the end of the movie, they talk about 1 in 9 people are proven innocent who are on death row. And I'm like, imagine how terrifying it is, especially when the electric chair used to be used or hanging used to be used, to literally smell people burning before you and know that you're innocent, but you're still going to be murdered anyway. And most of the time for the color of your skin. So the least I can do, I've been donating, I've been helping with as much as I can, but the least I can do is also help through a nonprofit. And this nonprofit's really awesome because they send out like newsletters letting people know about legislation that's coming up in their local government. They're part of a national organization. And it's run by family members of people who are incarcerated or previously incarcerated individuals. So they really truly care. But the problem is, like, they're all kind of older and a little bit burnt out from doing this for so long. And you have a population of people who are kind of abandoned by society. Well, again, not kind of, they are, because it's behind walls and nobody cares. So when you're so far removed from that, you don't have to think about people who are incarcerated. You don't have to think about that at all. And the folks on the board, they're just burnt out, and their website hasn't been updated since like 2008, and there's a lot that needs work. There's no social media policy. God damn it. Sorry. Okay. My cat was getting into stuff, and I'm like, she better not be messing with my plants or I will murder her. So anyway, it was like, it's just really a cool opportunity to like work on something that I care about, but I haven't had a lot of mental space to be able to do that. And then now with Black Lives Matter happening, I'm like, I have to up my game because I feel pretty shitty not helping people who really need it. And this is an easy way, just through something I'm already doing, to just increase my participation. And I've been donating and stuff like that, but yeah, I don't know, I feel like I'm pretty lucky. Maybe, I don't know if you feel the same, but I feel pretty lucky for my situation in life and like where I am. And we both have parents who support us, and might be a little loony, but a little silly, but we are really lucky people. So I want to help other people who might not have had the step up in life that we've had. So yeah.
And I think, God, with especially like with the prison system and that the whole like prison industrial complex, there's so many like kind of myths, but also just like purposeful misinformation, right? Like with Oregon's motor voter, everyone is registered to vote anytime they do anything at the DMV. Mm-hmm. And so all of a sudden, all these people who, were felons, who had been released, like they are now eligible to vote in Oregon, but because they know that they're felons, they think that they can't. Right.
Okay. See, I didn't even know that. That's interesting.
I mean, I talked to a couple people like that, and I think that there's just like so much like misinformation and abuse of the system, and like video calling. Like, why is video calling in prisons so expensive?
It is so expensive.
It's ridiculous.
I've heard so many stories of just bullshit, and I've watched their cases, and it's just pure bullshit too. And they're white men. So like the men that I've met so far coming out of the system have been white. And it's not like once you're in there, everybody's screwed. But it's just the amount of people who are incarcerated in Oregon by population, Black people and Native people are incarcerated more often and also like Hispanic and Latino populations.
Anyone black and brown, yeah.
Yep, there you go. But they're incarcerated at a much higher rate than white people by population here in Oregon. And that's saying something, considering that, like, literally when I moved out here from New York, it took about 4 months for me to see someone who was black in Oregon. That is not acceptable. And it goes back historically to when it was illegal to be black or brown here because they didn't want to get involved in the Civil War. I mean, would you want to move here? I wouldn't.
Like,
when you have like the grand exodus of people leaving the South because of the terrorism down there against black people, which we have seen over and over again. I don't understand how people still don't like believe in that. But when they left, they went to big cities. Oregon wasn't one of them. Wonder why? Because like you go in the country here, and people are still just as shitty as they are in the South. So it sucks that, you know, we're a blue state, we're progressive. It's
yeah, and there's this perception that there aren't problems, but that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I was walking down the street with my friend who, she's 1/4 black and half Latina, and partially white, another quarter white. And I didn't know any of that about her, but she passes as black. So I was walking down the street with her, and we had just exited a movie theater, and this car drove by, and they rolled down the window and screamed the N-word at her and started cackling and drove off. And that was like a couple years ago in Oregon, and I was furious. I was like so angry, and she's like, you gotta let it go. What are you gonna do? Like, those people don't give a shit. So it's just that, I mean, that's something that my friends experience. So if anybody ever tries to say that word around me, I'm like, don't say that, because it's just steeped in extreme racism and violence and terrorism for a group of people. You have no idea what kind of hardships they've been through. So, well, okay, so did I ever tell you about my acting career?
No.
Oh, my mom. Okay, let's go back to my mom. My mom knew that I was a really shy child. Clearly I'm not anymore, and that's thanks to her putting in actual effort to make me not be shy. But when I was younger, she had met a lady who was a storyteller through the Historical Association in the town where I lived in upstate. I'm not going to tell everybody everything about me because I feel like they already like hunt me down as a child killer, so I don't really want to like, you know, throw all that out there. But so in that Historical Association, they started doing these camps, and my mom was like, cool, let's go, you're going. She drove me to the city, which was like a 45 minute drive, and she would take me back and forth every day for the summer to go to these camps. And one funny story is like, it's in a museum, Historical Association museum. In the basement was all this creepy shit, and they took us down there, a bunch of kids, as a tour. And they had like mummy hands. They had like real life size, like Martin Luther King statue things. And I don't know if you remember the 2003 blackout. I think it hit the East Coast. I want to say it was 2003 or 2000. I remember when we were driving home, it was black. Like there was no lights or anything like that in the streets. Well, it hit the Historical Association too, and the elevator automatically goes to the basement because it's an old building. So there were kids in the elevator going up to this like end of camp party. I had already left, and they got trapped in the basement, and this girl had a panic attack, and they called the police, and one kid knew the actual address. I wouldn't have known. And they called the police, and they came to the building, and they got them out. But the girl refused to ever go back because she knew we had just taken a tour. She knows there's mummies down there and stuff. She's like, I'm never coming back. I was like, and it was pitch black. So I would have shit myself probably too. It's terrifying. Like you run into a Martin Luther King statue in the dark, and you don't know if it's a person. Like, oh my God. But anyway, so I went to a few of these camps. They were different things, like architecture camp, some peace camp. And the lady says to my mother, thank you, she's like, we do acting, and I will even like pay the kids sometimes if we get money from the tickets. We'll give them like $100 per play to be involved in it. Now, this is an inner city camp. I am one of 2 white girls who like goes to these, right? So my mom's like, yeah, you're going to do acting. You're going to go. And I was like, like, I don't think I want to. And she's like, that's too bad. So my mom takes me after school to these acting classes, and this lady writes the plays, and a lot of them are about the history of slavery on the East Coast and how New York was a sanctuary state for slaves. So once you hit New York, probably other states, sorry, I keep losing my voice, other states too, you're free. And there's actual like underground spaces in Syracuse where slaves like press their faces into mud, and there's like imprints of their faces that are like to this day kept in the Historical Association and stuff. And one of the emancipation speeches was read there, right in one of the historical buildings of Syracuse. So we did all these historical plays, and they were written by this lady. Well, again, I'm one of 2 white girls. I was one of 1 for a long time, and the rest of the kids are black. I played an abolitionist for 5 years in plays with braces and big ass glasses that were not period appropriate. And I would wear these like hoop skirts, and I looked so stupid and nerdy, and I had like bangs and then like little ring curls, and it was atrocious. And my mom made me do this, and then somehow she told all my teachers that I was acting, that they should come and see me. And my teachers announced it in classes, and kids actually came, and my teachers made me read plays in classes and stuff, and I'm like, Mom, you are so embarrassing. But it was her way of also just diversifying my life so that I wasn't
think that's
stuck.
awesome.
Like, yeah, it is.
I mean, yes, I also want to see the pictures, but it does sound awesome.
There are some. They're hidden. I need to find them. But she made me, when I had like babysat from 11. I don't know, you probably had odd jobs too, but I babysat from 11 to like 14 for different kids, or pet sat or house sat or whatever. And then at like 15, there was a school trip I wanted to go on. And I said to my parents, I'm like, oh, I want to go. It's $2,500. And they're like, that's funny. Go get a job. And so they made me get a job at 15. I worked at Kmart. And after that, you can't be shy. So I'm not shy anymore, thanks to my mother.
That's good. Right? It worked. It worked.
Yeah.
So
I also know a lot about slavery in Syracuse. So there's that.
Right, which is also good.
It is. Yep.
So, Kate, what are you doing to engage your impulses, right? You already took up embroidery, but, like, have you had any, like, random impulses and then just done them? Right? Like, I don't know, I made English muffins this week. What is your random impulse that you were like, I'm going to do this thing? There is no reason not to do this thing because I am home all the time and have time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gained about 25 pounds.
Sure.
Reason being that I had a diet that consisted of popcorn and goldfish crackers for about a month. You know, but it's the nutritional equivalent of cardboard, I believe. So not only could I not poop ever, because you can't when you're eating cardboard for a month, I just was like wallowing in my own self-pity of, oh my gosh, this is a pandemic. I don't know what's going to happen. Like, how many of us are going to die, which is real because too many, obviously. But yeah, I was being safe and just staying home and not hanging out with anybody for a couple of weeks. Yep. So eating whatever I wanted. I did that for at least 2 months, 3 months.
That's awesome.
I know.
You know,
but
like,
now I don't fit in any of my clothes, and so now I'm trying to go the other direction.
You can let go of the guilt for a little while, right? Like, to be able to, like, eat and not feel guilty about it and not, like, second guess it, and just to, like, be like, okay, I'm just going to give myself permission to just be like, no, I'm just going to... Yeah.
Who's going to see me? Nobody's going to care. I'm
right,
gonna have
like, if I want to bake a cake in the middle of the day, I'm going to do it.
Absolutely, I've done that.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right,
I bought cookies at some point, and I ate, like, all of the cookies. I went to a bakery and bought, like, dozens of cookies. So.
Ooh, I was going to make some snickerdoodles soon. Well, with that, I am playing the outro. I know,
I haven't failed. Can we do this again, and I can talk about more interesting stuff?
No, I think this was great.
She's psycho.
No, people all the time are like, I'm not good enough. No, you're good enough. You're fine.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm not going to kill children.
Yeah, thanks for being on my show.